Vacuum is an ocean of energy, not empty space. What if the quietest, darkest, emptiest parts of the universe were not empty at all, but a huge ocean of energy stretched tight and quietly boiling under the surface? And everything you know as light, time, mass and gravity were just different ways that ocean moves? Modern physics is already forced to admit that vacuum is not really empty. In the famous Casimir experiment, two metal plates placed extremely close in the empty space slowly pulled themselves together. And in ultra-strong laser experiments, a beam fired into nothing could spit out an electron and a positron as if particles were hiding there all along. In the energy filament theory, all of this has one simple picture: the vacuum is an energy sea. Think of looking down into a deep pot of thick soup. The surface looks calm, but if you dip a spoon in, you feel the whole pot churning below. Light is like ripples running across the surface of that soup. Particles are thin loops of pulled soup that manage to close into rings. And galaxies are gigantic whirlpool patterns stamped into the sea. What feels to us like empty space is just the flattest, quietest skin of that ocean showing for a moment. The key twist is this: all the big mystery settings of the universe, why light speed is constant, why time has a rhythm, why mass resists being pushed, why gravity reaches across galaxies, are not separating magic rules. They all grow from one property of this sea: its tension, how tightly it is pulled. Imagine a drum skin stretched close to the breaking point. Where the skin is tighter, the vibrations are slower and deeper. Where it is looser, they are quicker and lighter. The energy sea works the same way. Where it is tighter, all internal rhythms slow down and time runs slow. Where it is looser, rhythms speed up and time runs fast. If the sea is pulled into a downhill slope, matter simply follows the slope. And you call that motion gravity, like a marble rolling toward a pulled corner on a carpet. Where the threads of the sea line up in one direction, particles and fields suddenly prefer that direction. What we usually describe as having a field or a spin axis is just the local texture of the sea. You might think light speed is absolutely fixed by some cosmic law. But what stays fixed is your measuring kit. Your rulers and clocks are made of particles whose internal rhythms are controlled by the same local tension as the light you are timing. So when the sea tightens or loosens, your clock and the light beam speed up or slow down together. You always get the same number for speed of light simply because you and the things you measure are being stretched by the same hand. That is why light speed comes out constant in every experiment. Not because the universe carved the numbers in stone, but because you are changing in step with it. You might think time is an abstract axis on a graph, but in this picture time is just the beating inside particles. The tighter the sea, the slower that beats. And the closer you get to an extreme object like a black hole, the more the sea is yanked tight. So the local beat drags and time appears to slow to a crawl. There is no magic there, only rhythm. You might think mass is some mysterious stuff a particle simply owns. But here mass is nothing more than how hard this thing has squeezed the sea. The more it tightens the surrounding sea, the harder it is for you to shove it out of its path. And that resistance is what you feel as mass. You might think gravity is an invisible pulling force. But if you picture the energy sea as a flexible sheet, gravity is just the natural slide from tighter regions to looser ones. No hidden hand is pulling you down. You are simply following the easiest path down the tension slope. Once you stop imagining the universe as a dead, empty container and start seeing it as an active, stretched, patterned sea, a lot of puzzles line up at once. Light speed, time, mass and gravity all become different faces of one underlying thing: the tightness, the texture and rhythm of the energy sea instead of four unrelated miracles. Vacuum is not nothing. It is the first layer of what is real. Everything you see, from atomic clocks to galaxy clusters, is just the visible drawing on top of this moving, shake-shifting ocean of density and tension. And this is only the first doorway. If the bottom layer of reality is an energy sea, the next question is brutal and beautiful: exactly how do the constants of the universe, like light speed, time flow and particle properties, growing out of the changing tension of that sea, tap follow, Share it on New Physics, Clear Universe.